Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Single No More Online Summit. We are here to give you the tools to help you meet and keep, or feel confident that you can meet and keep your Mr. Right this year. And we say feel confident because we believe that it is within your power to not only find the man of your dreams, but have the relationship of your dreams, one that you have always envisioned, and it is that and more. My guest today is Allana Pratt. She is an intimacy expert who inspires open-hearted living with delicious sass. So you're going to see that all today. Super fun. Her inspiring vulnerability and courage has landed her a weekly column on Good Men Project, featured as an icon of influence and a guest expert on the Jenny McCarthy Show. I mean, this list goes on and on. You're going to love this. Huffington Post, People Magazine, Forbes, CBS, TLC, and Fox. She is also the author of 4 books and has interviewed Whoopi Goldberg and even Alanis Morissette. Love that woman as well. And she also hosts the edgy podcast, Intimate Conversations, where listeners learn to thrive after heartbreak and find the relationship they deserve. And now she inspires women to embrace their sacred erotic nature and find strength in their softness to attract all the love and attention they desire. She believes that vulnerability and authenticity are probably the most seductive, sexy, and irresistible qualities one can be, because you don't require anyone else's approval. And essentially that gives you the freedom to be who you are. So this is probably one of my favorite topics. I'm so happy to have you on the show. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. It's so funny because some people are like, okay, we're not going to talk about sex. And other people are like, let's talk about sex. Like, guess. So
I think intimacy is actually one of my favorite words, because I think that is essentially what we're all not craving, but that's the thing we want, right? Yeah, we can have sex, we can have friends, but that thing, intimacy, is really when you connect with someone. And I know that that's what I was always really wanting, because I feel like that's what you can't really get anywhere else.
Yeah, it's so well said. A lot of people think when I'm an intimacy expert that I'm just going to give them blowjob tips or something. I have taken a really good blowjob course, I will say, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's my message. It's this, and I think you are right. I think it is what everybody is hungry for and craves: being safe, seen, understood, gotten. Being able to be not just like a mask of who we are, but like our real self, and be completely received and not judged. Right? Because then there's another layer of our radiance, another layer of our creativity, a whole other layer of energy that can flow. You can surrender and be in the zone. Like, so much is possible when you can just be yourself. Or when you're not, and you're having to contract and pretend and, oh, remember, what did I say to him and what did I not say, and who do I need to be? And if I like, all of this spinning takes us out of our heart, out of our truth, out of the connection, out of the moment. So yeah, I think intimacy to me is the core fundamental building block of all thriving relationships in our life. If we're not at peace in here, we haven't exhaled all the way and learned how to not just love our, I always make these little signals, not only love our triumphant, look so good, like I graduated cum laude from Columbia, all that stuff, right? It's really easy to love that part of us. Sure. But can we equally love, accept, allow, welcome, cradle, cocoon, give a snuggle to our wobbly, insecure, ashamed parts? Most of us are like, nope, put her in the closet, go away so I can be fake. But then that level of emotional unavailability or downright abuse to ourself, because we are holographic creatures, we will project that as a vibration out into the universe, and we will get mirrored with people that are judging all that very stuff we judge about ourselves. And it's so easy to blame them, isn't it? It's so fun. Well, he's not nice and he doesn't love all of me. And I'm like, well, do you? Well, he's ghosting me. Well, when have you been ghosting you? We will notice that everything we complain about, we are doing to ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is a really big girl panties on, it's called mature and being responsible. But if we're willing to do the work, willing to stop judging ourselves, willing to heal the shame, the past, that on the inside, we start to attract people on the outside that are of that same vibration, our ideal partner. And then, you just need one, unless you feel like having 2 or 3. But really, you just need one, and you found your match.
Yeah.
And you get to explore this beautiful world with someone else and be yourself. It's divine. It's so
divine. I love how you phrase everything. It's super amazing. I have to admit that, yes, the pivotal point of my journey from essentially being notoriously single and in a pattern of every 2 years, always breaking up and starting a new relationship, was again, looking at how I was treating myself. And I never thought that it would be that impactful, because I wasn't like, I was like, you're such a bitch or something like that. It literally was just like, I was just super hard on myself. I just think I wasn't very forgiving if I didn't do something right, if I wasn't smart enough, if I should have known that. And again, I know then realized was that I wasn't able to accept almost like the correct love. I was seeking the wrong attention. And it was just mind blowing to me how that little thing, even just flipping that and just being so kind to myself and backing myself and being there for myself. And like you said, is it really that simple of almost just, is the first step just, not owning, but forgiving ourselves or accepting those maybe insecurities, or what is is that the kind of the start to this whole process?
I think you can start wherever the hell you are. You could be like a hot mess or just slightly critical, like wherever you are, you just start where you are, right?
Yeah.
And is it that simple? Yes. Easy? No.
Great.
Simple,
I love the difference. Yeah.
So there is an awareness that happens. Like when you're a fish in water, you don't know you're in water, right? But like, okay, so first we're like, oh my God, I'm creating this whole thing. And the way I'm treating myself is how I'm being treated by others. Okay, so that's awareness. So that would be like probably number one, awareness.
Yeah.
Number two, don't judge the awareness. Because you're already judging yourself. You judge yourself.
Right. I always say, my biggest line is, don't analyze your life when you have a stomach ache, because you're gonna be like, everything's wrong. And you just compound, right? So
and don't go grocery shopping hungry. All those like nice. Number two, don't judge what you've discovered. Number three is start to do the inner work. And that's where it is more simple, but not easy. That's where you really want somebody trained in what they're doing. Because I've been at this for 20 years. And I've done therapy myself, and I'm a coach, not a therapist, because it didn't work. It didn't work. And the more I've been trained, just last year, I spent probably like $45K in my up leveling of my certifications. I just keep getting better and better certifications as we learn more about the brain and the quantum field. It doesn't have to be so hard, but it does need to be done correctly. And what I've learned is that when we have a trauma, and a trauma does not mean you've been to war necessarily. It just means something happened where the energy of what happened was too big to process in the moment. So that could be anything. It was just too big to process. So part of that experience got put away and not processed, not integrated, not healed. You didn't get the whole lesson. You might just get a little bit, okay? And then there's the whole scientific awareness that what you resist persists. So if you didn't process the whole thing, you process like half of it. Half of it is still stuck. I don't want to deal with it. What you resist persists and grows and grows and grows. And then all of a sudden, this is in front of your dating world, your traumas, okay? So when you get to how to heal the shame, the fear, the doubt, the can't let go of the past, that I don't want to open my heart again and get hurt, I don't trust men, there's like all the varieties of it all. When it's time to go do that inner work, you got to do it right. Because if you do it incorrectly, you will make it grow. You'll make it worse, not better. And a lot of people have come to me after therapy for years and years, and they're like, it's worse, not better. And I'm like, well, here's the science. When the trauma happened, it was an image. You had a thought about that. There was also an emotion or feeling, and there was also a body sensation. It lodged into the brain in 4 categories. Therapy, most of the time, just talks about it. You can have a damn good cry, but then isn't it interesting when you feel horrible again a couple days later, right? Or maybe you do some emotional tapping, right? And get into the body. Okay, that's some relief, but it's still not changed. Or maybe visioning. I'm just going to do my vision board. I'm just going to look at my vision board all the time. So again, helpful. All of these are helpful. But when you don't do them all together at once in a process that can literally integrate that baby, it's going to stay stuck. And so many people, what they find here is bad and wrong. And that resistance is a judgment which sticks it. And the resistance to it, what you resist persists. So it gets bigger and bigger. So you've got to have somebody very professional, knows what they're doing, super duper track record to take you through these processes, to absolutely take it to the other side. Because it didn't happen because you're a loser. The event didn't happen because you're evil and bad and wrong and broken. It happened to help you grow. So when you can integrate, process, heal this, it's going to come out the other side as a higher vibrational capacity. Like, let's say it was a lot of betrayal. Maybe it's going to turn into forgiveness. Maybe it was a lot of abuse. It's going to turn into standing up for yourself, strength. Maybe it was totally just, I can't even believe it happened, unfair. You're going to learn compassion, allowance, forgive. Like you're going to learn something over here. A lot of people think when I'm afraid, I got to get rid of it. No, what you resist persists. When I'm ashamed, I got to get rid of it. No, what you resist persists and grows. You've got to literally, because you can't create or destroy energy. That's science. You have to change it. Alchemy. You have to integrate it. So you've got to be willing to sit in the fire, properly do the processes so that it becomes the embodiment of this new capacity. Just reading another book and having more knowledge up here doesn't do the trick. We have so many people living from their chin up. We need this integration, this new baseline, this new set point, this new, I don't need to work at this. I just am confident for no reason now. I just am more compassionate instantly for no reason. I just am safer in my skin for no reason. Well, it's a good reason because we did all this work, but like,
right?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it just sounds like, again, what's on the other side is a different way of being, which is almost a lot easier than almost just trying to keep protecting. And I can see as you're saying this, I'm going, oh, I can totally understand that we're going to want to go, nope, that was okay. That was fine. Oh, that's all right. I've worked past that. I'm an adult now. I don't have to worry about that. And I think what you're bringing to the table and what I've realized for myself during my journey is there is stuff there that is probably screwing things up with my dating, or, that need to be accepted. And acceptance was a huge one for me. And I love what you said about getting outside help, because it was actually an intimacy coach that told me that I was avoidant. And I'm like, excuse me? No. Of course, miss, I'm perfect. At least I, let myself believe that. But when I actually had the acceptance that I wasn't, I was like, I was relieved, because then I wasn't perfect. He doesn't have to be perfect. It really just changed the dynamic. So I absolutely, that makes so much sense. But I could definitely see why do you think people have this resistance or this desire to almost just pack it away?
Well, two reasons. One, it hurts. It's not fun. Yeah, like I've got like Haagen-Dazs over here, or like sitting in my shit over here. Like I'm always going to choose Haagen-Dazs, right? So a lot of people, they need a support. They need help. They've been burned so many times by processes or programs or coaches that haven't been able to help, wasted money, made them feel even worse. So they've got some wounds on top of the wounds. So those are some of the reasons. But the main reason is that they're seeking their worth from the outside in. They haven't learned to cultivate their safety, security, and worth from the inside out. Now, if your worth is based on being perfect, looking good, doing it right, getting the guy, you're not going to risk dating. You're not going to risk a coach. You're not going to risk anything. You're just going to be as fake as shit and terrified on the inside and pretend you're fine on the outside. And you're going to attract somebody who's just as fake as you, because that's science. Right. So what we need to realize is that there's a gift in pain. We don't talk about this. It's like, bad, yep. Good. No, let's have a little deeper look there. What are some of the benefits of pain? Resilience, grit, perseverance, compassion, empathy for self and others. There's a lot of benefits. Let's go to the other side. Let's look at just pleasure. What are some of the disadvantages of pleasure? Too much pleasure. You forget to pick up the kids. You forget to pay the taxes. You forget. Like too much pleasure is not a good thing either. So we start to get real, but that life is always going to be equal challenge and support. And we let go of this fantasy that I need to be perfect, and then I'll find the perfect relationship and it'll all just be perfect. No, he's going to piss you off. You're going to piss him off. Like we're going to keep growing. There's no way out of this life without pain. Sorry about that. So that's not normally like fun for people to hear. So they're like, I want to go pay for the coach who tells me that in 3 days, and $30,000 later, I'll find the one and I don't have to do any work. I go, yeah, good luck. Good luck on that one. Yeah. And then call me when you're out of money because you've done this. And now you say you don't have money to move forward coaching. I'm like, come on, people, let's grow up and really be the mature queens that we need to be, where we do our research. We find a coach with great, results, a great track record. And the one who's willing to tell us the truth, the one who's willing to even say what's tough, the one who's willing to talk straight, lovingly, compassionately, of course, but like someone that's actually willing to show me this mask that I've been wearing, or stop putting sprinkles on the ice cream cone of shit and, telling me it's all going to be fine when, you know what, I know it's not. I know I need to look under the hood. I know I need to do the inner work.
I agree with the pain part. I mean, it was tough, and I had to keep leaning in. I probably did about 2 years worth
Yeah,
of just,
that's about right.
different coaches and finding out about myself, and, obviously working in the happy times, but still realizing that, and I probably didn't even know, like you're able to tell everyone that there is essentially that pot of gold on the other side. It really is. It
Yeah.
is amazing. Like, it's just a whole, like you're saying, shifting of being.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get that it's hard, but I guess the only reason we're kind of going is just go for it, because it does feel amazing on the other side. And
Yeah.
I loved what you were saying about the positives of that.
Yeah. And not only is it good on the other side that you attract the guy, but like he's not the be all end all, right? If we put too much attention on the guy, he becomes the source of our happiness, and he's in a bad mood one day and we lose our shit. No. And then he wants to break up with us because we don't have a center. We haven't found our core.
Yeah.
So the work that I do with intimacy, yes, the end result will be you'll have a great relationship and you'll attract your ideal partner, but no, not until we have this great relationship with ourselves, because that allows you to know what you know, not spin and think and doubt and do all the hesitant bullshit, right? So you know what you know, you can hear your intuition, you make really wise choices about everything: money, jobs, friends, our bodies, dating, our parents, our children, like socially, like all these areas of our life that are kind of important, right? It's not just like get the guy and everything's going to be fine. That's very like elementary school toddler. I want people to be at this PhD level, and I speak to them at this PhD level because I honor and speak to the richness and the soul of somebody. Intimacy with self is for physical, mental, spiritual, vocational, financial, social, family, and romantic and sexual. It's for everything. You can't receive the moment if you're spinning in your head and you can't even be present. How can you receive love, money, miracles, intuition, coincidences? How can you have your own back and be able to go, back off, not okay, if you're ever in that situation, or just very kindly, no, this is not a fit for me. Thank you, but no, thank you. How can you have this sense of queen spine if you're not home, if you're wobbly? It's like a tree with no roots, and the wind comes over and you wonder why you blew over, and you give away your power, and you try to be a people pleaser, and you try to be perfect. Roots aren't there, right? It's this inside out that, it's the foundation of it all.
Yeah. I think that was the biggest takeaway from this whole weirdly painful experience was not only did it help my relationship, it helped my relationships with my family and everyone. And you could see how it's not just that. And I love what you're saying about, the guy isn't the be all end all. And I'm hoping that everyone here is starting to really pick that up, because that's kind of the secret hidden message here, is that once you are like, again, one with yourself, if you back yourself, if you're on your own team, then that guy is literally just like a beautiful thing that gets to be with you, and you get to be with them, and you get to create something just like you create every other moment. And it's absolutely amazing how much, again, it spans life. And you're right. It's that core thing. And also I wanted to point out was that I think the reason I love the name of the summit too, about meeting and keeping your Mr. Right, is because, like we're saying, the skill that is also going to help you attract the man is also going to help you keep the man. Yeah. Because, okay, we attract them. But then, like we said, we have fights, or we get triggered, and things are going to happen. And to know that we have the skill to work through that and, iron it out is great and worth it. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Well, though it's so devastating to go to all that work and find them. And then the very first fight, because you've been fake the whole time, you have no sense of being able to sit in your own fire with yourself. So you can't sit in a fire with him. And then all of a sudden you break up and now you're single again, and it's even worse because you had them and you lost them. And now the 2x4 across the head is going to happen even more. So this is the quote unquote gift that keeps on giving in your relationship and in every relationship for the rest of your life. Like, it's probably the hardest work, but you have the biggest return on investment. And it's no different than a springboard. You just go down a little bit, you're only going to go up a little bit and bloop into the pool. But if you really bounce on that baby, you're going to go higher, right? And so that's same with our inner work. If we just like peek into our heart, peek and try to look at that little you who's really ashamed, who just needs a hug, you're like, no, I'm just going to go be perfect over here. Little you inside, is going to be like, So as soon as she gets triggered by the first fight with the boyfriend, she's going to be like, what? Now you want me to be confident? Fuck you. Oh, can I say that? Sorry.
Yeah.
if you haven't treated her with respect when she needed you, i.e. when she's sad, do you feel your feelings and go to her? Or do you go, no, shh, quiet now, right? So when you really need confidence, if you haven't treated yourself well, you're not going to have this sense of wholeness and oneness inside, and she's going to sabotage you. And she has every right to, because you haven't been very nice to her. Yeah.
Oh,
and then the boyfriend's gonna be like, okay, she's crazy. You're so disassociated on the inside. Like, yeah.
I've done the self-sabotaging. I could totally agree with that. And I think it was the same thing. I was like, oh, I'm being crazy now, aren't I? Yeah, right. And I guess you want to break up with me. I guess that's what's going to happen. And I was like, oh my God, I'm totally in that rabbit hole. And it would like still continue even after like some work. But had I not been able to catch myself and go, whoa,
Yeah. Good job.
What happens?
Yeah. Well, I think there really just comes a time in life when we realize the only one in common, like after my second divorce, I'm like, okay, the only one in common is me. So I think, it's time to do some work. Like humility is, I think, highly underrated. Here we are trying to be like confident and badass and all the rest of it. I'm like, could we just be humble and still love ourselves?
Yeah.
Could we call one on ourselves and not judge ourselves or reject ourselves? That actually is what lasting confidence is, where I don't need you to approve of me, or I don't get off center if you disapprove of me. I'm not going anywhere because my worth is inside out. I hope you like me. I hope you don't throw tomatoes at me. But if you don't like me, I'm not going to lose my shit. I'm okay.
Yeah, I think when I also realized how confident I was as a human, I thought, wow, this other person in front of me, whether it's a guy, girl, anything, walking down the street, they're going to be just as complex. So it made me realize, okay, I was bringing my stuff to the table. Clearly they're bringing their stuff to the table. And hopefully, like you're saying, it breeds that humility that you're speaking of. And I love how you also use the term, the vulnerable is the new sexy. So that's a big word right now that's I think people are talking about and trying to embrace. What's your perspective on it?
Yeah. For me, vulnerability is like, heart wide open.
Yeah.
And so it's not any of these masks. And so it's a very, we'll call it like an intense state, because you're not in control. When you're closed down, shut down, your hands way out here energetically, you're sort of in control of your different choices. But is there any chance of connection? None. Is there any chance of authenticity? Definitely not, because there's a handout in front here. And so you're going to get a certain result when you are being like that. So people say, oh, be vulnerable. You're like, well, yeah, but then I'm going to get like my ass handed to me on a plate because my hands aren't out in front of me. And I go, maybe, but I think it's time to actually be aware that when you're vulnerable, you have discernment. How can I have discernment when I can't even see anything and my hands are pushed out here energetically? When you're vulnerable, yeah, it's intense. It's real. It's like more alive energy pulsating through your body, but you have direct connection to your intelligence and your prefrontal cortex. If you're closed in reaction, in contraction, in fear, you're in your reptilian brain, fight, flight, freeze, you're going to make shitty mistakes. But if you are open, you're breathing and you're present, your heart is open, you're in your heart, you will have access to your prefrontal cortex, creative thought, abstract thought, discernment. You'll be smarter, safer. Okay. And the other thing that happens when you're vulnerable and your heart is open, okay, yeah, I get that it's intense. You got to practice this for a bit. But also then downward, you have connection to your gut, your intuition, your instincts. Yeah. You're like, you can't feel that when you're doing all the fakey fake and
you're in the brain. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So vulnerability is the ability to be safer, stronger, more discerning, but you're on the court. You're actually on the court and you're at choice, but you can't control anybody. You can't control life. So it's again, we have to be humble that we can't control life. We need to be brave. Now, bravery doesn't come from muscles. That's willpower and strength. Bravery is from la cour, the heart. Bravery is from the heart. So you cannot be brave with a closed heart. Sorry, you can't be courageous with a closed heart. So you got to have an open heart to be brave and courageous. You'll be smarter. You'll be more intuitive. So you're going to be stronger and smarter. You're just going to have to learn how to be this present in the world. But let me tell you, when a person like that walks in the room, that's the it factor. They're like, whoa, there's an energy to you. There's half of it is like, yeah, bring it. I'm here for life. And the other half is like, don't fuck with me, or I'll take your head off. Like there's a strength in this person and a welcoming in this person and an energy of this person and an alluring, sexy to this person. Like all these energies are possible when you're able to be vulnerable. You attract some really cool people. You'll also potentially attract people that don't like you because you can see them. When you don't want to be seen, you don't see the red flags. You can buy into their bullshit because you're not seeing clearly, thinking clearly, feeling clearly. You're not your superpower self. So you get hurt. Okay. And when you're like this, you see all, feel all, know all. You're like, he's really hot and everything, but there's an energy about him that makes me want to have a stomachache. And you're aware of it. So the people that like to be fake and like to use people, you'll see them and they're not going to like you very much. Good, because that you want to be able to see them ahead of time and not be taken advantage of. Another time can make people uncomfortable because their shtick doesn't work with you.
Yeah, I love that. I love the visual of just being far and away and how this works and it's closed and open. And I feel like with the closed, there's just a lot of operating from fear as well. And I
100%.
feel like that's protecting, but then you got to say to yourself, wait, but is it working?
Yeah, protecting you from what? Everything you want. Well, is that really protecting or are you in a prison?
I know. So you almost want to do you encourage clients as well to how to kind of get past that fear? Is it just pushing through it? Is it just learning the skills?
No pushing. What you push away. Yeah, it's never going to work. And vulnerability is a choice. Like, I'm not saying go into a dark alley in the middle of the night and be like, hey, everybody, like be open and whatever. Like, no, there's times to be like, not to close, but to turn down your light. There's a time to, because when you're vulnerable, that doesn't mean you're loud and open and sharing all your wounds on your first date. That's not what vulnerable is. Vulnerable is this awareness and openness. He's not safe to share with yet. You know who to call at 3 a.m. and who not to. We all know this. That's because we have this connection, hopefully, that we're doing our work on the inside, our vulnerable work, so that we really sense who can we risk with and who can't we. It's a knowing, not a thought. So many of us have been over relying on thought that lets us down. That's just a file folder it's like a cabinet of the past that you just sift through. It's not the present moment. The present moment is where you know what you know. So take it slow. There's as I said in the beginning, these deep processes where I integrate all of the blind spots in the way, because I can't see mine either. I need my coach for my blind spot. I wish, because I'm a really great coach, but I can't see my own to save my life. You want to do all of this integration work and practice in a safe environment. Like I have a group coaching program or working with me privately. There's where I'm Mama Bear. So you want to practice in a safe way, being vulnerable. And when you start being vulnerable, you're going to know, oh, I knew not to say that to him, or, oh, I knew that, but I wasn't willing to do the work and really slow down and listen. Okay, I got it. Then you're going to have all these light bulbs go off of where you were saving the baby bird, people, or men often say this to me when they, go into the savior mode. I coach men and women and couples. So, I'm always attracting these damsels in distress. I'm like, yeah, you love it. And they're like, excuse me? You love it because you love to be the savior, because you have such emptiness inside you. She needs you, and that fulfills your empty heart. Oh, so this is the stuff we got to own and then do the inner work so that we're discerning of who to open up to and who not to. We're in charge. And ultimately, even if we make a mistake, which I do every day, I make mistakes, all sorts of mistakes, this intimacy work is, well, hey, at the end of the day, I got my back. Yeah. I got my back. Yeah. And even if I fall down, I can go down and give myself a hug and say, hey, you did your best. You have every right to feel the way you're feeling. I got you. And do you want to stay here for another popsicle or a shot of tequila? It's okay. and then we're going to get back up together. Okay. We're in this together. Right? And that's the resilience.
I love what you were saying about just, again, having that awareness as to I think just having that awareness for us and why we're then doing the behaviors we are. Like we said, that gentleman who likes to be a savior, where does that come from? Well, you're trying to fulfill that emptiness. I think the moment we can have that awareness of ourselves and therefore why we're attracting who we're attracting, seeking the people we are, all those things, it's just, once you realize why that's happening, it's so empowering. But you did tempt me on sex. So we're going to talk about some sex here. One. I was like, wait, she's open to talking about this. Let's talk about it. Oh, for sure. Yes. We'll flow on with some questions, but I think my initial one is, I know I get a lot of times women asking, when is it okay to have sex? Or should I wait? Like you're probably saying, they're just thinking about it. How do you advise clients on when to have sex or when not to have sex, or if it's even something that people should overthink so much?
Yeah. It's a very, very personal choice. So there is no
Mm.
right or wrong answer whatsoever. Okay.
Mm.
So everybody is wired and lives according to their values. And that is not my job. That is their job to do their inner work and discover what is true for them.
Mm.
Basically, when you start doing this inner work, this intimacy work, when something's off, you're going to feel icky. You're going to feel cranky. You're going to feel crunchy. It's not going to feel right. And when it's in alignment with your truth, not society's, not what other people say, it's going to feel right. Still maybe a little nervous, but good, the good nervous or the good excited nervous, or it's going to feel more juicy, alive, and in the flow. So if on the first date, you feel like having your way with the dude and he feels like having his way with you, and that feels right, you've had the safe sex talk, sex is a huge priority for you, you don't have a lot of shame around this, it's one of the deal breakers that the sex better be good, fine, I'm not going to judge you. I think it's probably good to wait a couple dates to be sure that he's really into you, he's not just after a booty call. That would be my recommendation, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. Some other coaches say like wait a whole 3 months before you go anywhere near him to really be sure if he's into you. I personally couldn't wait 3 months.
No way.
I think that's a little on the long side, but again, that there's a value to that waiting, to the foreplay. There's a value to waiting till marriage. There's like remember how I said there's equal challenge and support all the time in life, equal pain and pleasure all the time in life. That's what gets us off the pleasure, pain. It gets us off the roller coaster. Well, same with choosing with sex. There's going to be a pro and a con of doing it sooner or later. Again, it has to just resonate with yourself. I like to wait a couple dates, 3-4 dates, to see if he still is really into me, to see if I still have the attraction. And then it's very, very important to have the safe sex conversation. And if they're not willing, they don't get to come anywhere near me. Sorry about that. No. So we have to have that conversation. And then also you want to, as you move on with dating, like when it becomes exclusive and you stop using protection, let's say, no, that's not going to happen until we've had a lot of conversations and a lot of honesty, etc. So I think what we're saying here is it's good to get in the habit of having, integrating, as we said, integrating the shame of sex, integrating the shame of talking about sex, honor this as a sacred divine temple that deserves pleasure. Don't use sex as a manipulation or a bargaining tool or power, like just like you wouldn't want them to use money or something or their power of this, you wouldn't want them to misuse their power. So we don't want to misuse our power. And enjoy being alluring. Enjoy, how does your body feel with this person? How does he touch the small of your back? What does your body do? Is it relaxed or does it tense up? Right? Like just start to slowly listen. I even say go to the bathroom on a date. Talk to your vajayjay, talk to your vagina, talk to your yoni. What did she say? Like, ooh. Maybe your heart is, or your head is like super rich, super hot, but your vagina is like, nope. Like listen to her, listen to your heart. Does your heart feel safe? Listen to your body, right? And also all the way through to when you start having sex, can you ask for what you desire? Can you speak up and say, in a sandwich, I just love that you're so into touching me. It would really turn me on middle of the sandwich if you just go a little bit slower. And then end of the sandwich, thank you so much. I'm so lucky that you're so into me, or whatever you want to say. Like, here's your sandwich. You've got to learn to set men up to win with their sexuality, because they get emasculated really, really fast. And there's nothing worse than a scared woman who's left her heart. And so she's in her head, afraid, and kills him off and emasculates him. I can't tell you how many men have come to me to heal from shame that we women have inflicted on them when they didn't get the heart on or something like this, right? We all need to be kind in this dating process with ourselves and with each other.
I love what you're saying about the women being very open about what she wants. And how do you advise women who aren't comfortable or don't really know what they want? Is, like you're saying, is that just start some self-exploration, or just realize that is going to be I don't know, it kind of feels like I love how you're saying it also makes him feel better. So kind of start there. And that will kind of start the right journey to a really nice sexual relationship.
Yeah. People come to work with me for intimacy with a partner, intimacy with their body, their sexuality, intimacy with money and their purpose. Maybe they have a lot of shame about receiving money or asking for money. Like, all these are intimate relationships. All of them are intimate. Or they don't know how to talk to their kid and let their kids sit in the fire, and now they've got a 35-year-old living in the basement, like this kind of thing. So there's even intimacy with can I speak my truth to my children and have healthy boundaries and know it's time for you to get out of the house now and figure this out for yourself? So all of this. So back over to the sexuality. How? Well, it's the same process, these deep core healing brain, quantum psychology, central nervous system processes I've been trained in to literally heal the shame. Everybody can read a book. Everybody can go to your basic therapist and talk. That's all it took. Everybody would be healed. It's going to take something more for you to really integrate so that you have awareness of maybe a memory that happened, but you're back at choice. You're back in the queen position, right? You're not run or triggered or charged by these emotions. You're in the center place of the queen. So that's the work we do around sexuality. And then from there, all of the homework isn't just sprinkles on top of the ice cream cone of shit. I've gotten rid of the ice cream cone of shit. And then when I ask you to do some homework, we really get results super fast, like a massive catalyst, like it's on conscious steroids or sexy steroids or something. Because you're not gonna, unfortunately, a lot of women come to me who have been raped and their body got turned on by the rape. And so they get turned on by being abused. And they don't get turned on by a good man. That's a very intense problem to have. And so that's a brain, body, for image, thought, emotion, body sensation. We've got to do some inner work in there, but I can rewire people's brains and bodies so that they get turned on by healthy love, healthy touch. You know? And I've been molested too in the church and all those kind of things. You know, I help a lot of people get through this stuff, and they don't know. They're ashamed to say it in the first place. But they know that they're attracted to cruel people.
Amazing that you help people with these things. I mean, it's almost like I can imagine if someone is gay and they don't want to, are ashamed to say that they are, and same thing if something's happened to them and they're afraid to share, and it's impacting a real, that loving relationship that they could be having is incredible. And it's just, as we're talking about this, what I love about the topic of love is that it's so much more complex than we would think. And that's why I think I love that there are coaches out there. There is a lot of, I think, internal work to do, but like we're saying, the payout is amazing, but it's just amazing how much goes into it, how much our brain brings to it, how much our gut is telling us and we're trying to ignore it. That's why I just find it so fascinating, because it's even more complex. I literally just thought, yep, I was going to have the fairy tale and it was going to be fine, and Mr. Charming was going to show up, and that did not happen. But it's just amazing to me how much more complex it is. And as you're talking, I'm going, oh my goodness, this is amazing.
Yeah, well, this is why we have the opioid issues we have the suicide issues we have the addicted to Facebook, or, whatever it is, even just workaholics. Or there's such lack of information and lack of effective processing of emotions, and even stigma that emotions are bad in the first place. Like, you're too emotional, like even against women or whatever, right? Or don't cry, men, because emotions. Well, that's the key to healing. And we've been making the key. And so I think there's like, not that I'm this big conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, if we can keep the world in fear, we can control them. I'm not going to be controlled. I'm going to integrate all my fears into my superpowers. And I'm going to be tender with myself when I do get afraid, and come back to center. And I keep coming back faster and faster the more work I do, so that I'm in charge. I'm creating my life. You're not doing it to me, making me afraid all the time.
I'm with you, girl. To the people who are awake and not willing to be a robot and take matters into our own hands and realize what serves you and what doesn't, and that, your emotions are a telltale sign. For me, it was something was wrong, so I was able to fix it. And that's the best part, like we're saying with coaches, and it can happen quickly. It doesn't have to be something that is, 10 years worth of therapy. And that's what I think I love about it, because I did therapy as well. And you're right. It just felt like the transformation was a little bit quicker when I was given, the right tools and knowledge to kind of go, it can be this. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I love it when people start coaching with me. They come for like one reason mainly, right? The most painful reason. But then they're like, oh my God, I got a promotion. Oh my God, like things are better than ever with my body. I lost 10 pounds. What happened? Oh my God. I guess like all these other areas of their life starting, like, I'm like, yeah, I know. You won't believe it. I'm like, yes, I will. But so it's pretty cool. And even years later, when they call me back and they send me pictures, they're engaged, or they got their first house, or, they got a promotion, or they're living in their favorite place in the world. They never knew they could actually make it happen. It's like the core as I said before, the springboard down, or the core of it
Mm.
all. These are the deep roots that we're feeding so that you grow such gorgeous shoots, and you just keep growing them and keep growing them because you have the capacity for and the tools, because you
Mm.
never get there. There's no there. That's another
Right.
bullshit,
Yeah.
right? Like, even
Mhm.
when you get to one level, you're not just going to sit there the rest of your life. You're going to keep growing.
Mm.
And while this interview, I didn't get too nervous. I've probably done 250 interviews at this point. But if it was Oprah interviewing me, I probably would have got a little nervous, right? So here I am thinking I'm this confident woman, but if I go to the next
Yeah.
level, I'll
Right.
get a little nervous. So it never goes away.
Yeah.
It's just how quickly, with the tools we learn and the integration that we're doing, can we come back home? Come
Mm.
back home. Yeah.
And I think love is like, or finding love, or if it's not working, I see it as a great opportunity for us. Again, like, I was able to evolve so much through my journey to find love because it's something we really want, and it's a really good incentive.
Yeah.
But as you're saying, like, the payout of nailing this is like just endless. It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like everything else, like you said, we can ignore, we can get busy, we can distract ourselves with work, we can drink a lot, we can do a lot of these things and kind of push it aside. But it's like, for those who really want to get there, there is a path, and like we said, it might be a little bit painful, but it's
everything that's been painful, my willingness to sit in the fire has birthed another phoenix. And I am so grateful and proud of my courage. And no, it has not been easy. But when you've got someone that's on the other side, not like I'm perfect or anything, but like I'm a few steps ahead, we'll say, right, in these areas, and you feel the certainty I have. And you feel the unwavering, I got your back no matter what. And you feel the tenderness and the patience that I have. And you feel the playfulness and the odd F-bomb and let's be sexy and have fun. You put all these combinations together, it's going to be painful anyways. Might as well do it with somebody fun who knows what they're doing. Right? Let's go through this together, because it's so worth it to be able to, for someone to say, it's your energy. Yeah, we are a gift. When we do our inner work and we come home, our very vibration, doing shit, nothing, just being here, it's a gift. When you can go, wow, all of this was worth it, that I'm actually a gift just by being me. I just make someone else just feel better in the grocery store line or sitting next to me on an airplane. I am a gift. That makes it all, to me, it makes it all worth it. Yeah.
So if there's someone sitting there going, oh, I can see that I want to get there, and I believe that working with you will help me, but for some reason I don't know, I can't get around this process of internal work. I just shouldn't have to. I mean, what do you say to people who are struggling with that?
Well, enjoy your personal hell. Call me when you're ready. Like, I don't know. I'm not here to convince anybody. Like, if you needed life to get that much worse and more painful in order for you to do it, I'm sorry about that. But I'm not here to try to convince anybody. I'm a very busy lady. I'm so busy that I have an intimacy success advisor that takes my $97 calls that I used to do. Like, I'm too busy. I have too many clients. So like, if you're not ready, that's okay. I wasn't ready. I mean, 1 divorce, I didn't do the work. 2 divorces, I said, okay, well, it's time to do the work. So it's okay. Suffer away. It's fine. I'm not going to judge you about it. And when you're ready, my arms will be open. And I can't wait for you to come and have a session with my amazing trained intimacy advisor. And it's called an intimacy blind spot breakthrough call. Because everybody has good advice. You don't need us for that. You can read a book, right? But the blind spot is what's keeping you stuck. And I, humility, can't see mine either. And I need to go to my coach. So when you go, oh, that's the real reason this hasn't been working. I've been trying this and a good attitude and blah, 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 10 more affirmations and it's still not working. I'm like, yeah. Science tells us that only 0.00001% is what we see, form, matter. 99.999% is the energy. So that's a little bit more, okay? So that is actually where things are going awry. It's a vibration. It's how you're being that's putting it out into the field, that's giving you the feedback loop of your reality. Focus efficiently. Focus on doing the deep inner healing intimacy work of the unseen, rather than focusing on this tiny little thing that is seen and trying to make it change. It's inefficient. It doesn't work. Let go of control and come inside and do the work and let me hold you. That's efficient and you'll get exponential results. But it takes a certain amount of bravery and humility to be willing, as a badass human who's doing pretty well in most areas of their life, to go, okay, this sliver, I need help. Thank you. But those are the amazing humans I get to work with. It's like,
I know,
privilege.
I know. I agree with you. That was one thing I realized that's why people have business coaches, because it's like, there's just things we can't always see, but especially in the kind of work department or just how we're being, I think it's amazing when someone can point it out to us. I want to touch on one quick topic as well. I would love your opinion on, I'd love to talk about the masculine and the feminine energies right now, because I feel like for me, it was a big thing when I was really able, it was a conscious thing to have to really step into my feminine. I didn't realize how much I was in my masculine. But I saw that masculine as my confidence and my, almost like my, this is what makes me amazing. But I feel like it was probably hindering me as well in a way. So I'd love to get your thoughts on how we can embrace our feminine, but obviously still be the badasses we are and all that.
Yeah, so that's in a whole other hour, but let's do the quick version of it. Remember how I said the guy that the savior, and he's complaining to me about all these damsels in distress that he's attracting all the time? And I'm like, yeah, you love it. You love it, because this way you get to be, fill up from the outside in, because you actually feel unworthy on the inside out of a quality woman who sees you and can stand on her own. Then what are you going to provide? Just you? Well, I'm not enough. Ha, there it is. See, there's your doubt. So same with women who are overly in their masculine, attracting these beta males who, ghost them or cheaters or whatever. I'm like, you love that. And they're like, what? Go, yeah, no, you love that because you're in control. Because if you actually had somebody of worth seeing the real you, they'd see your wobbly parts too. But if you can stay more badass and in control and date somebody beneath you all the time, then you don't ever have to risk being found out. And they're like, oh, I hate you, Allana. But it's true. And I'm like,
you're so right.
I know it's true. So what I say to women who are overly masculine is first just to call one on themselves with kindness, but be straight and mature. I'm doing this to stay in control because I'm terrified. I'm terrified of being hurt. I'm terrified of them seeing my wobbly parts. I'm terrified to, surrender. Okay, fine. I am. Okay, good. Now we're in reality. Thank you. So what is it going to take? Do we have to let go of all this masculine? No, but it's way out of balance. We need to bring in your feminine, and which will bring your masculine into healthy balance. And the feminine is way braver. Masculine energy in general, not men, but masculine energy is about pushing, doing, striving, leading, guiding. Like, we don't need to work on that. You're already very good at that. So good for you. But what you're not so good at is the feminine energy. She's more allowing, receptive. Not so good at that. She can allow and let go of control. She can surrender and go inside and sit in the fire. She is brave. She's courageous, and she lives in the body. She lives in your heart. She lives in your sacred yoni. She knows a lot. She's creation itself. That's where it comes from. This is just strategy. Do it this way, strategy, more spaghetti on the wall, right? But if the masculine in us would just slow the fuck down and go, hey, chick, my lover here, what do you let our creative feminine energy guide our masculine, we'd make a lot better choices and a lot more money with a lot more ease. Oh, another benefit of doing the work with me. Yeah. But in terms of dating with the masculine, if you don't have your own back, if you don't know whether he rejects you or not, that you're enough, if you do not have safety in your skin, if you can't really hear your intuition, you ought to be scared. That is scary. So that's why a lot of women are in their masculine, is because they don't trust themselves. They can't hear themselves. You can't hear that small whisper of co-creation with the universe, because they're so coherent and aligned in harmony in their heart that they've started to co-create with the field. They can hear God, right? Like, that is the gift of the feminine energy, not the masculine. So when we can bring them into balance, it's like the yin yang symbol. It's like, Shiva Shakti. It's like, again, it's that it factor where they're like, whoa, I can't fuck with her. Oh, but man, I want inside of her, that energy. Like, the guys are like, whoa, it's really very attractive to a quality, noble badass, not an idiot that wants to use you or someone who's beneath you who wants you to pay for everything. So, yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for the short version. At the same time, I could get a ton of, I could see what you mean from that. And it just is, that's even the start, right? And that's why I love it all. I think it's an amazing dynamic happening right now, but one worth talking about that I don't think a lot of us might be realizing. And it's all just, again, back to that awareness. I really love that.
It's all about intimacy, isn't it? It's just so wild. Yeah.
I love this. Well, I know we could probably do this for another hour or two, but unfortunately, I need to let you go help the world like you always do. And but I would love you to tell everyone how they can see more of you, learn from you. You have a
Thank
gift for them. Just, yes.
Yeah, I have a couple gifts. So the first one, Allana Pratt. So my name's with 2 L's, allanapratt.com/vulnerability. And that's a 7-part training. Vulnerability is the new sexy. So it's even a deeper dive into what we were talking about, the power
Yeah.
of our open hearts. There's that. My website was supposed to be done 4 months ago. And so every time I do an interview, I'm like, go to that. I'm like, nah, don't go to the website because maybe that's not going to be there. But hopefully by the time this is aired, the new website will be there. And there is an intimacy blind spot assessment quiz, which is also free. So if it's not there when you see this, keep going back because it will.
Yeah, good idea.
Super, super beneficial for you to understand and really see, where am I? Intimacy with myself, intimacy with the divine life, intimacy with a beloved. Like, how am I and how can I get better so I can receive even more? Even if you are in a relationship, how can I make it deeper? Or if I'm single, what's going on so that you can be in a relationship? And then I've got a great YouTube channel. I've got a podcast. My newsletter is really hot. You learn things that you don't hear anywhere else, where I'm really vulnerable. Oh my God. Yeah. Like the one that went out today, very vulnerable. I've never, in 20 years, I've not told people this. But I walk my talk. Here am I asking you to be vulnerable, but I'm not willing, right? So you'll learn from me as a hot mess and as a master badass coach, which I am both. We all are everything, right? We're all everything. So those are the different ways that I can love you, serve you, and welcome you to my world.
Thank you so much. It has been an absolute honor to even get the small bit of information you were able to share today. I know you have so much more. Thank you for making all that information accessible to everybody. I know my journey was made possible by all the great advice, podcasts, everything that was out there. But again, it definitely was able to make a big transformation when working with amazing coaches. So please seek her out if you loved her, because she was amazing today. Thank you so much. And we will see you again next time. Bye.